Hey, it's Maddie.
And it's Caressa.
You're not watching the Disney Channel right now.
You're listening to
Dreadfully Twisted.
Featuring Luca. We're back again.
Yes, who's back
again.
I'm literally, my brain is so done for the week. I literally can't even sing the song that we've been singing every single week for the
I'm so tired today.
Me too.
I did a lot of running around and I'm just like, ugh.
I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm just happy I have tomorrow off because I don't want to do a Monday with working this week.
Yeah. Happy 1 year to the podcast!
Yeah, I was gonna say that. It was 1 year on Friday, and that is so exciting. So, happy 1 year, and thank you guys for listening and supporting us throughout this year, and thank you so much for your patience while we were getting into the groove of things. This was something totally new that we were not exactly prepared for.
Yeah.
So, thank you for bearing with talking as hard. Bearing with us during that time, and now we're on schedule now, so thank you.
We love you.
We do love you, and we appreciate you listening to the podcast. And if you haven't already, share the podcast with your friends and family.
Yes, we just want to grow and grow
and tell all the cases that need to be told and feel like they need to be told, and talk about paranormal stuff sometimes too. Because that's fun.
Exactly.
Because you need a palate cleanser every once in a while.
Like this episode.
Yeah, this episode, well, I don't know, mine are kind of dark.
Yeah, honestly, I think these are too. Not really a palate cleanser, but I guess.
Not as heavy.
Yeah, not as heavy. These are haunted places, which obviously have sad backstories because of the spirits and stuff, but at least it's not an active murder case that we're talking about or something.
Oh my god, I know I sent you a TikTok last night. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it or not.
I didn't.
But it was about this guy. He was in the middle of the Colorado desert and he found a pond. And he found 14 pairs of boots that were buried. No. And he thought he might have stumbled across a serial killer's
oh my god. Yeah.
So yeah, it's very interesting if you want to watch that TikTok.
I definitely will. That's
terrifying. I saw it last night, and he's a YouTube person, I guess. Mm-hmm. And he came across this pond or whatever, and there was at least 14 pairs of boots that were buried, and he uncovered them, and they had matching pairs.
Crazy.
And it was and then he went into the middle of the pond because there was this little island in the middle of the pond, and he found more shoes there. So it's just really weird, and he thinks that he might have stumbled across the serial killers.
Oh my god, that's literally terrifying.
That might be an update later. Find out if we find anything, because he did contact the police, but it was crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know. And just watching it was whoa. But you could probably hear Lucas smelling in the microphone over there.
Say hi, Lou. He said, hi, guys.
That was the cutest thing.
That was literally on cue.
He was like,
okay, so are we ready?
We're ready. I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Okay. Today, we have, that was really extra, imagination.
Today, we have, well, it's good. We're this is okay to be very pumped for, because it's paranormal stuff. It's not murder. So.
Yeah. We have haunted places. Ooh.
I'm excited to hear yours.
This first one is kind of depressing. That's why I did it first.
Oh.
I don't want to end on a super sad note.
My second one is more depressing than my first one.
This one is super interesting to me though, so I have to do this one. It's crazy. It's also not 100. It's not 100%. It hasn't been proven. It's not a 100% of fact. It's a legend. So I don't know if it really happened or not. Nobody knows if it really happened or not. But it's definitely believable. So I mean, yeah.
Well, I'm excited to hear it.
This one is called Island of the Dolls.
Ooh, dolls scare me.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm excited.
Just south of Mexico. No, here we go. Every time I start, like the first sentence, I can't even like say. Oh my God. Okay.
Talking is hard.
Talking
Sunday,
is hard.
Everybody, like...
Yeah. Rehinge. It's the end of the week. Like we're trying.
Well, kind of beginning of the week.
Yeah,
but...
exactly. End/beginning. Just south of Mexico City, between the canals of Xochimilco, you can find a small island with a sad background which never intended to be a tourist destination. The island is known as Isla de las Muñecas. It is dedicated to the lost soul of a poor girl who met her fate too soon under strange circumstances. The area has thousands of people, but this small island is home to hundreds of terrifying dolls. Their severed limbs, decapitated heads, and blank eyes adorn trees.
No.
Yeah. You should see pictures at night. It's literally absolutely terrifying. Like, shiver me timbers, because I was like, oh my God. So creepy. It is said that a girl was found drowned in mysterious circumstances many years ago on this island, and that the dolls are possessed by her spirit. Local legend says that the dolls move their heads and arms and even open their eyes.
Oh, thank you. Some
witnesses claim they had heard the dolls whispering to each other, while others who were on a boat near the island said the dolls lured them to come down to the island. No.
Don't go.
Don't do it. Don't. If a doll starts siren calling you, don't go.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, of course these witnesses exaggerate, and the island is in no way possessed itself, but Isla de las Muñecas is very creepy. It's a very creepy place anyway. It is said that Don Julian Santana Barrera was the caretaker of the island and was the one who found the little girl drowned in mysterious circumstances, but was unable to save her life. That's sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
Shortly thereafter, Julian saw a floating doll near the canals. Most probably, the doll belonged to the girl. He picked up the doll and hung it to the tree as a way of showing respect and support to the spirit of the girl. Some people question the existence of the drowned girl, and it is not known if this is what really happened or not. Julian was apparently haunted by the spirit of the girl and started hanging more dolls in an attempt to please her spirit. He soon realized the dolls themselves were possessed by the spirit of dead girls and continued to collect the creepy dolls, hanging them over the entire island. It's literally covered head to toe in dolls. Like, it's crazy.
No, thank you. I don't want to go.
No, me either.
Hard pass.
Yeah, hard pass. According to those close to him, it was as if Julian was driven by some unseen force that completely changed him. Apparently, he was very marked by the fact that he was not able to save the little girl's life. After 50 years of collecting dolls and hanging them on the island, Julian was found dead, drowned in the same spot where the girl did. That's crazy. If this is like really true, like that is literally
like he insane. Had to get possessed by something,
yeah,
or it bothered him so much that they killed him.
Mm-hmm. That kind of makes me wonder if the little girl took that offensive.
Like all the dolls.
Yeah.
Maybe and she was like, "Why are you
who drowned him in the same spot where she died?"
I'm getting chills.
I know.
Or maybe it was another entity that drowned the little girl and then also drowned the guy. Oh my God, that could go in many different ways.
Shiver me timbers, we're coming up with ideas.
I'm getting chills right now. I'm scared.
I know.
Ooh.
Many people on the island believe that Julian has joined the other spirits of the island. The locals are very faithful that the Isla de las Muñecas is a charmed place. After Julian's death in 2001, it has become a tourist attraction where visitors bring more dolls.
Wait, his death was only in 2001? I was expecting it to be way later than that.
Yeah, nope. Since the death of Julian, the island has become very famous and has even been featured in many articles and even TV shows. I've also seen that on TV, but I can't remember what I've seen it in. I've seen it in multiple things.
I've never
I'm pretty sure it was Paranormal Caught on Camera.
Probably. Or maybe, well, I don't think Ghost Adventures would go out of country.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it would be like one of the paranormal investigation shows or something.
Yeah.
Or Paranormal Caught on Camera.
Okay. Yeah, this next one's long, so.
Okay. So my first one is the Raynham Hall in Norfolk, England. I don't know if you ever heard of that one, because I didn't. I just looked up most haunted places, and then that's how I found it. But it's a country house in Norfolk, England. The house has been the property of the Townshend family for almost 400 years. It's a long time.
That is a long time.
Sir Roger Townshend wanted to start building the mansion in 1619. However, construction didn't start until 1622. He was an English landowner and politician in the House of Commons from 1621 to 1629. Fortunately, he died in 1637, which was the same year that the construction finished of the house, which is insane. Like, that's such a coincidence.
Yeah, that is.
The house was designed by architect Sir Robert Pratt. Due to traveling 3 years across Europe, that's where the inspiration for this design of the house came from. At that time, Raynham Hall was the first of its kind in England. It was very modern. Raynham Hall could have easily been built well over a century later. In the 1730s, further additions were made by William Kent, who was hired by Charles Turnip Townshend. Kent added a lot of detailed work in which included carved chimneys, pieces, mosaic paintings, and decorated doorways. And his masterpiece in the ceiling of the marble hall. Obviously, from the title of this episode and the other places that we're going to be talking about in this, Raynham Hall is haunted. The first sighting was in 1735.
Yikes.
At a Christmas party. The ghost that is seen is referred to as the Brown Lady, and is most likely the spirit of Lady Dorothy Walpole. In 1936, she was even caught on camera.
Oh my gosh.
I have that picture too. However, the legend around the Brown Lady is sad. Lady Dorothy Walpole was Charles Townshend's second wife. She was a sister of Robert Walpole, who was an English Whig politician, a member of the Parliament for Castle Rising, which was a parliament borough in Norfolk. Charles and Dorothy married in 1713. However, there was rumors, I'm sorry, my handwriting is really bad. Rumors that the marriage wasn't a happy one. Charles was a man with a violent temper and was jealous. A legend. Oh my god. A legend says Charles caught Dorothy cheating on him with Lord Wharton, a man who had a reputation. He punished her by locking her in the rooms at Raynham Hall. There is another legend that claims Dorothy was set up. The wife of Lord Wharton, the Countess of Wharton, had invited Dorothy to stay over for a couple days. She knew that Dorothy would never be allowed to leave the house alone without her husband. However, whichever is the truth, Dorothy's end remained the same. She was locked inside her own house until she passed from smallpox in 1726.
Wow.
Yeah. In 1960, there was oh my god, I can't talk today.
Talking is hard.
Talking is so hard. In 1960, there were medical documents found that stated Dorothy's life was the opposite of what was stated in the miserable life, according to the legend. According to the papers, she lived a happy and fulfilling life and was loved. So we will never know what truly happened to Dorothy, but either way, she still passed away in the house. Dorothy was first seen in, I think that says 1735. I don't know, I have it crossed out, but I think it's 1735 because it was at the Christmas party, so it was the same year that I mentioned earlier. By a guest who stayed at the mansion for Christmas. Her name was Lucia Stone, and I'm sorry if I say that wrong. I just don't know how to say it. She described the ghost as wearing a brown dress and that the ghost looked just like the lady in the painting that she saw in one of the rooms. The ghost was described as her face was glowing and her eyes were empty, dark eye sockets.
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
Yeah. Colonel Loftus saw her as well, and he claims, and because of his claims, part of the staff resigned their jobs at the mansion. Captain Frederick Marryat, a friend of the well-known novelist Charles Dickens, and a writer as well, wanted to investigate the ghost at the Raynham Hall and investigate the stories himself. So he went a couple of nights at Raynham Hall. He spent, not went. Oh my goodness, I am having issues. So he spent a couple nights at Raynham Hall. In 1836, he saw the ghost of the Brown Lady. His daughter claimed that he slept with a gun under his pillow. He saw the Brown Lady in the corridors, holding a lamp in her hand. She approached him with a malicious and diabolical smile. He shot her. She shot her at the face, and she disappeared. He never went back to Raynham Hall again after that. And I do have a thing that I'm going to read in regards to that. It is a passage that his daughter wrote. She said, he took possession of the room in which the portrait of the apparition hung, and in which she had been often seen, and slept each night with a loaded revolver under his pillow. For 2 days, however, he saw nothing, and then the third was the limit of his stay. On the third night, however, two young men knocked at his door, and he was undressing to go to bed and asked them to step over to their room and give them his opinion on a new gun just arrived from London. My father was in his shirt and trousers, but as the hour was late and everybody had retired to rest except themselves, he prepared a company as he was. As they were leaving the room, he caught up with his revolver in case you meet the brown lady, he said, laughing. When the inspection of the gun was over, the young men in the same spirit declared that they would accompany my father back again in case you meet the brown lady, they repeated, laughing also. The three gentlemen therefore returned in company. The corridor was long and dark, for the lights had been extinguished. As they had reached the middle of it, they saw the glimmer of the lamp coming towards them from the other end. One of the ladies going to visit the nurseries, whispered the young Townshends to my father. Now the bedroom doors in that corridor faced each other, and each room had a double door with space between, as is the case of many old-fashioned houses. My father had, as I've said, was in shirt and trousers only, and his native modesty made him feel uncomfortable, so he slipped within one of the outer doors in order to conceal himself until the lady should have passed by. I have heard him describe how he watched her approaching nearer and nearer through the chink of the door until, as she was close enough to him to distinguish the colors and styles of her costume, he recognized the figure as a facsimile. I don't know how to say that word. Of the portrait of the brown lady. He said his finger was on the trigger of the revolver and was about to demand to stop and give the I don't know what that says because there's a error in the way for its presence there. And when the figure halted of its own accord before the door. Oh, I see what it says. He had his finger on the trigger of the revolver and was about to demand it to stop and give the reason for its presence there. When the figure halted of its own accord before the door behind which he stood, and holding the lighted lamp she carried, her features grinned in a malicious and diabolical manner at him. This act so infuriated my father, who was anything but lamb-like in disposition, that he sprang into the corridor with a bound and discharged a revolver right in her face. The figure instantly disappeared. The figure at which, for several minutes, three men had been looking together. The bullet passed through the outer door of the room on the opposite side of the corridor. It lodged in the panel of the inner one. My father never attempted again to interfere with the brown lady at Raynham.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That would be scary.
Yeah, it would.
So, September 19th, 1936, which whenever I was, like, doing that, I was like, that's Jeremy's birthday. I was just like, it just made me, like, realize that. Captain Hubert C. Provend and his assistant, Indre Shira, visited Raynham Hall for a photography assignment. They took photos all over the mansion and the stairwell. Provend's head was under the cloth which was attached to the camera. When Indre saw something unbelievable, he then told Hubert to take a picture, and he did. It was a photo of the brown lady, which was its first published in the magazine called Country Life. That same year, a lot of people believed and thought the picture was fake, and that looked like the statue of the Virgin Mary. However, that picture is the best known photo of the brown lady, and she has been seen so many times. There is something really haunting Raynham Hall. There have been other ghosts that have been seen as well, but they are not as well known as the brown lady. Other ghosts there are the caretaker and his dog, a cocker spaniel, which is so cute. Huh. 2 children, and the Duke of Monmouth. Really hard to say. The Duke of Monmouth, James Scott, was the illegitimate son of King Charles II of England. Monmouth was accused at high treason in 1683 because of a conspiracy to kill his father. Monmouth was born in Rotherham and was forced to leave England and seek shelter in the Netherlands. After his father's death, he went back to England to claim the throne, but it belonged to his uncle, King Jacob II. The Duke of Monmouth claimed Jacob II killed his father by poison. However, Monmouth was arrested July 15th, 1685, and was executed at the Tower Hill not long after. It took 8 blows with an axe to take his head off.
Oh my god.
Yeah. However, after he was buried, they realized that he didn't have a portrait, so they exhumed his body and sewn his head back on to portrait him.
Wow.
Which I thought was insane.
That's literally crazy. What?
Yeah. In the 1600s was a crazy time. Like, that was crazy. Some others claim Jacob II didn't have the heart to kill his nephew, so that he sent the Duke of Monmouth to France to be imprisoned with one of Louis XIV's prisons. However, to hide his identity, he wore an iron mask, which would give him a nickname, the Man in the Iron Mask. However, the identity behind the Iron Mask Man was never revealed, and more historical figures could have been him. The question that remains is, why would the Duke of Monmouth haunt Raynham Hall. The only answer anyone could come up with is the friendship between Sir Roger Townshend and King Charles II. So my question to you, I have a question for you, Maddie.
Yeah.
Do you think ghosts haunt places they die, or do you think they could could travel like that and haunt places like wherever they want?
They could definitely travel.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, I think some of them are probably stuck.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, some of them are probably stuck, but I feel like a lot of them could like travel.
Based on this next story that I have, makes me think that they could travel.
Yeah. I still have a couple more,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to ask you that before I got back into it.
Yeah.
Today, Raynham Hall isn't open to the public. Occasionally, there are private tours, but it is a private home where there are 7,000 acres of property. That's a lot of property.
Yeah, it is.
The present Lord and Lady Townshend have created a restoration fund for individual projects. They have an open house every year and series of wonderful recitals in the Marble Hall, and for several days in which you can have a tour of the house on open days. You can have a picnic and walk the grounds. You can look at the progress of the new flowers and vegetable gardens. The church near the lake is also open. I want to show you that picture from that one thing. Let me just find it. Here's the picture that they took in 1936.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Yeah.
Clear.
I know, for the 1930s,
Yeah.
that's very clear. Which I'll post on the
Yeah.
social medias too, so you can see it. They also have pictures for my next one. But I'm ready whenever you are. I'm done with mine.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. This next one is the Dox Street Theater in Charleston, South Carolina.
Ooh.
I was like, oh, theater. This is cool.
Yeah.
The old theater nerd in me was excited to read about this one. There is some very rich history in Charleston, South Carolina. A lot of the history there centers around pirates, the Revolutionary War, and the Civil War. While the Deep South is a great place to visit, the history there isn't always the most positive. This could be part of the reason that the city is seen as very haunted. Along with the streets of Charleston, there are ghosts that linger in historic buildings as well. One of these buildings is the Dox Street Theater. The Dox Street Theater was one of the first of its kind in Charleston. It is located in the French Quarter neighborhood. The beautiful architecture was seen as a huge change for the city, and when visitors came to see the city, the theater was the first spot that they would go to. It is still open today and has been through millions of dollars in renovations. It opened in February 12, 1736.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. The first play that opened there was called The Recruiting Officer, and visitors loved it and the actors that put it on. This version of the Dox Street Theater did not last long, though. There was a horrible fire in 1740 that burned down most of the French Quarter in Charleston. That's so sad.
That is sad. That's also scary.
I know. Including doing quite a bit of damage to the Dox Street Theater. In 1809, it was decided that the theater was necessary to the city and was rebuilt and rebranded to Planters Hotel. This hotel was very fancy for its time, and the patrons loved coming here for the atmosphere and parties. It had some amazing accommodations, and many historical figures either stayed here or worked here. In fact, Junius Brutus Booth, who was an actor at the time, worked here. He is also the father of John Wilkes Booth.
Oh my gosh.
Many survivors of the Civil War found work here, and a lot of them became famous shortly after.
Wait, let me ask you something. Did you know John Wilkes Booth was an actor?
No.
Apparently he was a famous actor too.
I didn't even know that.
No idea.
No, me either.
Because I was scrolling through TikTok the other day.
Yeah.
And I was watching a video of like actors and their last like few words.
Yeah.
And he was one of them. And I was like, wait, isn't that the same
Like,
guy
what?
that shot Lincoln?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh my gosh.
I
And
know.
then I found that out from that video. But apparently he was a really famous actor. And I
Wow.
didn't know that.
I didn't know
That's
that
why
either.
he was at the theater that day, because he was actually an actor
Yeah.
in whatever play they were putting on.
Mhm.
I didn't know that at all.
No, that's crazy.
So is that the same theater? That wouldn't be the same theater that Lincoln was shot at, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. It's just funny that it was
Yeah.
just not funny,
Yeah.
but ironic that
Yeah.
his father worked there. You could probably hear the
Sorry,
chair.
you heard that.
It was a chair.
Yeah. Many survivors of the Civil War. Oh, wait. I already said that.
That's okay. I can cut it out.
Okay. The hotel did not stay in business very long, though. The Civil War put quite a strain on the economies of the South. The hotel was abandoned and it was to be demolished. The owner loved the building so much that he didn't know what to do. He put it up for sale, and the city of Charleston bought it. There were many renovations done to it, and it was going to be a works progress administration building during the Depression. The builders kept the theater portion of the hotel, and it was turned into a performing arts center instead. The theater would become famous once again. One of the ghosts there is said to be that of Nettie Dickerson. Nettie came to Charleston when she was about 25 years old.
That's a really cute name.
It is. She loved the city and thought that it was exciting and sophisticated. She really was hoping to meet her future husband by moving here. Times have changed quite a bit since then. Man, me too, Nettie.
Yeah. I feel that. I think it's the same as it used to be.
At this time, in 1840, the average age for a woman to marry was 17, so Nettie was considered very old in those terms. She was determined to find the love of her life, though.
17's too young.
I know, that is way too young.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 25 and I'm still not married yet, so...
Nettie had many men who wanted her because of her beauty and intelligence, but she wasn't having luck finding someone to marry. Literally, that's still how it is, girl.
Yeah. It's hard to find the person for you
Yeah.
because guys suck.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Offense. I mean, Jeremy doesn't suck, but
Yeah.
other guys do suck.
The mentality of guys this day sucks.
Yeah. That's why Jeremy's the oddball of
Yeah.
all that. I'm just
You found a good egg.
I'm you're not even from this generation, I swear.
I know. You found a good egg. I'm proud of you.
It's hard though.
Yeah.
If I wasn't with him, I couldn't even imagine trying to date nowadays.
Yeah, no.
Because I hate this generation.
They're there's plenty of fish in the sea. They're sharks.
Where?
They're sharks.
Or they're jellyfish.
Yeah.
They'll sting you in the heart.
Yeah, exactly. A bunch of jellyfish.
If you think they're sweet, but then they sting you.
Exactly.
Back rehinging because we just
rehinge.
got off track.
Nettie ended up finding a job at one of the local churches and enjoyed her work there. But she would always look over at the Planners Hotel and see the men with their prostitutes and thought that she could be a part of that scene too.
No, Nettie, don't do
it. She decided to quit her job at the church and try that life for herself. Don't do it, Nettie.
Don't do it. I mean, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. Prostitution would be her new job, and she did well at it. She still went to church and would watch as the women there would gossip about her and make horrible comments about her. This made her angry, and soon she became very depressed when men no longer wanted her because of their wives' comments about her. She stopped going to church because of how she was being treated there. She enjoyed hanging out on her balcony at the hotel, and one fatal night, her priest visited her and asked her to come back to church. He said her life could change, and while he was talking to her on her balcony, a storm came through the city. A lightning bolt hit the rail of her balcony and electrocuted her.
What?
Yeah.
That's an insane chance.
I've heard two different stories, and I don't know which one is true. I've heard that she got struck by lightning, and another one was that she herself just jumped. I don't know which one is genuinely true, but
they're both sad.
Yeah, they are.
But getting struck by lightning is scary.
I know. That's literally terrifying.
Really rare chance.
Yeah, seriously. Nettie died horribly from the shock, and many people say that she has never left the hotel. Since the hotel became the Dox Street Theater, there has been quite a bit of paranormal activity. One of the first ghosts to be spotted is the ghost of Nettie. Many actors in the shows here have said that they have seen a woman walking around in a beautiful red dress. She glides across the floor, but those who have seen her say that she is not beautiful. Oh, yikes. Okay. Many described her face as zombie-like, and others said it had looked like something out of a haunted house. That makes me wonder if they were seeing her after she got electrocuted.
Maybe. Or, yeah.
Some of the workers here said that they see her every day, but others say that she comes and goes for months at a time. No matter how much Nettie's ghost appears, it's clear that she is still in the theater, and she wants everyone to know. The theater is haunted by more than just one ghost. In fact, many say that Junius Booth, father of John Wilkes Booth, also haunts the building. The interesting fact about these ghost stories is that Booth didn't even die in Charleston. This is what made me think that they could travel.
Oh, yeah.
Many of the actors and workers here have seen the figure of the man walking around the stage. They have reported seeing him when the building had just a few lights on and they felt him breathing down their necks. Some of the workers here even felt him touching their neck.
No, thank you. Don't touch me.
Yeah, don't. Visitors that have come to the theater have seen his full figure walking around on the stage and in the hallways. No one is truly sure if it is his ghost, but those who have researched him believe that it is. There are stories of how much he loved the theater, and some say that he never wanted to be anywhere else, which is most likely why he is sticking around.
Yeah, because that's like his joy.
His favorite place, yeah. But yeah, that's all for that one.
Wow. Okay, so my next one and my last one, because I only got to 2.
Okay, yeah.
Because both of mine were like 15 pages long. So, and I have like more like screenshots on my phone that I was going to read. Mm-hmm. But my next one is the Queen Mary Hotel, which is actually kind of ironic that you also had like a hotel one, kind of. But the Queen Mary Hotel is an ocean liner that was converted into a hotel and permanently docked in Long Beach, California. It's a luxurious hotel, but it also happens to be the most haunted hotel and most haunted ship in America. The property had a major renovation in 2023. So we're going to start with the history first, because in order to like really get like the idea of everything that happened, you have to go through the history of things, I believe. So I wanted to go through the history of it.
Wait, before you start, can I just say something real fast?
Yeah, you're good.
I remember seeing the Queen Mary ship for the first time when I was like 15 or like something like that, 14, 15 on TV. And I think it was like either Ghost Adventures or like one of the ghost hunting like shows. Yeah. And they went there. And I literally remember watching it. And I still remember till this day because that episode creeped me out so bad. It was terrifying. That ship is so creepy.
It is creepy. And I'm like, I kind of want to go.
I know, me too. Is it bad?
Like, okay. Like, ooh, I'm like, I kind of want to go though, because like, but so this ship was bigger and faster than the Titanic, more powerful too. The ship is 1,000 feet like long. The ship started being built in 1930 at the John Brown Shipyard in Clyde, Scotland. The Great Depression held up the construction though between 1931 and 1934. However, the ship was completed May 27th, 1936, which is kind of funny because May 27th is tomorrow.
Yeah.
For 3 years, the Queen Mary ship was used to host the rich and famous across the Atlantic, which included the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, Greta Barbo, Clark Gable, David Nivian, Mary Pickford, George and Ira Gershwin, and Sir Winston Churchill, and so many more. And up to the upper class, this was considered the only like way to travel. Because they're, their pinkies up, might like. The ship held the record for the fastest North Atlantic crossing. When World War II started in 1939, luxury travel ceased, and this made the ship to transform into a troop ship, known as the Grey Ghost.
Ew.
Yeah. In this time, the capacity on the ship went from 2,410 to 5,500. By the end of World War II, the ship carried more than 800,000 troops, traveled more than 600,000 miles, and played a role in almost every Allied campaign. The Queen Mary ship also survived a collision at sea. That's one of my screenshots, so give me a quick second, because it was an article. What's that noise? I'm just like, it's scary. Okay. So, in October of 1942, the famed ship accidentally collided with the HMS Curatio, a much smaller cruiser that was escorting her around the Irish coast. The Curatio, I don't know if that's how you say it, I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong, was zigzagging in front of the Mary ship, hoping to throw off any potential missile attacks, when the 82,000-ton ship mistakenly plowed into it, breaking it in half. Some of the crew died instantly. Others drowned or succumbed to the hypothermia in the freezing water. And the Mary never stopped to rescue them, as it would have compromised thousands of soldiers. An estimated 329. I don't know what that says. I have to go to the actual website. Because there's like a little like thing in front of it. Let me see. I'm sorry. Okay, some of the crew died instantly, others drowned or succumbed to hypothermia in the freezing water. The Mary never stopped to rescue them, as it would have compromised thousands of their soldiers on board, and an estimated 329 men died as a result. The truth of what happened was sealed until the war ended 3 years later. So there's those deaths already.
Yeah.
Where was I? The Queen Mary set the record for carrying the most people, which was 16,683, and did participate in D-Day. Also, at the end of the war, the ship began to transport more than 22,000 war brides and children to the US and Canada, and made 13 trips in 1946 for that reason. In July 1947, the ship was refurbished back into the elegant cruises. However, by the 1960s, cruises were becoming less popular due to air travel becoming more affordable. In 1963, the ship began a series of occasional cruises to the Canary Islands and later to the Bahamas. However, it did not have AC, outdoor pools, or other amenities that were becoming common on cruises. In 1967, it was withdrawn from service after more than 1,000 cruises and travels. It was traveling for more than 3 decades. That same year, in 1967, the Queen Mary was sold for $3.4 million to the city of Long Beach, California, as a museum and hotel. Which I looked this up because I was so interested in it. $3.4 million in today's money would be $32,387 or $32,387,443.
Wow.
That's insane.
That is insane.
December 9th, 1967, the last voyage was made to Long Beach. The historic hotel and ship museum does attract thousands of visitors every year. It also has attracted several unearthly guests over the years. A lot of people say that the Queen Mary is one of the most haunted places in the world, with as many as 150 known spirits.
Wow.
On the ship, I was still in the same sentence, 150 known spirits on the ship. Over the last 60 years, there has been at least 49 deaths that have been reported. And also don't forget the terrors of the war that happened. The engine room is located 50 feet below water level, which is said to be the most haunted place of the ship, with the most paranormal activity. It was used in the movie Poseidon's Adventure, the room's infamous Door 13. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that movie, but that Door 13 crushed at least 2 men to death, both at different points in time. The one was during a routine water drill in 1966. It crushed an 8-year-old crew member, which was the most recent. He was wearing blue overalls and had a beard, and he has been seen walking the length of the shaft alley and then disappears by door 13. He also runs behind people, whistles as if he's warning them, and sometimes asks people if they have seen his wrench. When they turn around, he disappears. Others have had spots of grease that look like fingerprints appear on their faces. Its first and second class swimming pools are also one of the most haunted places, and are two of the most popular spots for ghosts as well. Neither of them are used today for the original purpose, which I also have another screenshot. I'm sorry, because when I was researching, I was like, I'm just going to screenshot this real quick because it's a lot easier. But the pool is no longer in use because of the California code issues, but that doesn't stop it from being the hotbeds of the paranormal activity. Okay, so I'm sorry, I don't know where I was. Okay. People have reported seeing a number of apparitions here, including a young woman in a tennis skirt walking downstairs and disappearing behind a pillar, a woman in an old wedding gown next to the pool with a little boy in a suit, and a cloud steam appearing out of nowhere, along with a little girl in a blue and white dress who disappears in an instant. Also, the first class swimming pool, which has been closed for more than 3 decades, women have appeared in 1930s swimming suits, wandering the decks near the pool. Others have heard the sounds of splashing and have seen wet footprints lead from the deck to the changing rooms, and some have seen a young girl holding a teddy bear. Yeah. In the second class swimming pool, a spirit of a little girl named Jackie has been often seen and heard. Allegedly, the girl drowned in the pool during the ship's traveling days. Her voice and laughter have been heard, and there were no reported drownings, but a paranormal investigator states Jackie is there. In the beauty salon, which was the ship's first class lounge, a beautiful woman in white evening gown has been seen dancing alone in the shadows of the corner of the room often. Several of the first class staterooms have reports of a tall, dark-haired man in 1930s style suit. Water running, lights turning on in the middle of the night, and a phone ringing in the early morning with no one on the other line, which would be scary.
Yeah.
In the third-class playroom, a baby's cry has been heard often, which is thought to be the infant boy who had died a little after his birth. There has been other sounds of distinct knocks, door slamming, high-pitched squeals, drastic temperature changes, and smells. Some other deaths that have occurred are a young crew member named John Petter was crushed by a door. Another died after drinking gin, was actually cleaning. Okay, wait, let me restart that. Another man died after drinking gin, which was actually cleaning fluid.
Oh my god. That's
Yeah,
really,
he accidentally drank cleaning fluid,
Wow.
which is terrifying. The rest died of natural causes, which was what the official reports have recorded. And hundreds others are said to have died on or at the hands of Queen Mary herself prior to her retirement. Legend states that the staff went half crazy as well. A gruesome rumor is that the galley crew locked the chef in his own oven one night and killed him by cooking him alive.
Oh my god, that's terrifying.
Yeah. There are no records of that. However, there are records that Mary was responsible for over 300 men's deaths.
Wow.
Yeah. One of another infamous haunting is Stateroom B3340. It is reported that paranormal activity is so frequent and intense that some members of the crew refuse to go in there.
Jeez.
And everyone has their own story or thoughts about who or what haunts that room. In 1948, a third-class passenger named Walter J. Adamson died in there mysteriously. Another theory claims staff locked a man in his third-class room after he murdered 2 women in the 1960s. During the night, he began beating on the door and screaming that something was in there with him. When they opened the door the next morning, his body was bloody and ripped apart. One woman said she was woken up when her bed sheets were ripped off of her in the middle of the night. She also saw a man standing at the end of her bed, and when she went to go get help, he disappeared into thin air. After that incident, and to this day, guests have reported hearing someone knock on the door in the middle of the night and seeing the bathroom lights turn on randomly. Hotel maids have made reports of water running in the bathroom when no one was staying in there, and even the bed sheets have been ripped off right after making the bed.
Wow.
For many years, the room was actually closed off to the public because of the ship had received so many negative reviews in the 1970s. So the activity was so bad that people were like refusing to go in there and like reporting things. Sorry, you just heard my chair because I had to adjust. However, it was closed for 30 years to the public and reopened in 2018 as a haunted attraction. But it comes with a huge warning. Even to the current captain is too scared to enter that room.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, this next room, I don't really know how to say it, so I'm going to try my best, but it's called the Mauritania Room, known as the Garden Lounge. In 1989, 2 women were sent to clean this lounge for a VIP reception. However, when they went into the room, they saw someone sitting quietly on a chair in the middle of the dance floor. When a third woman came in to also help with the cleaning, she said that the person was staring at her, and she had asked him to move. When the 3 women went to call security because he wasn't moving, he just disappeared right in front of them. Someone even took random pictures in that room, and you can see a figure in them. That happened in January of 2011, which I actually have those pictures right here. The Mayfair room was at one point a beauty salon, but now is an office for the hotel's employees. In 2001, an employee came to work early at 5:30 a.m., and she felt something was off when she was working. Then she felt unusually cold. Then a little later, she felt someone brush up against the back of her chair. However, no one was there, and only a few minutes after, she saw a white, transparent figure walk across the room and through the door. After that, she left the room and waited for other employees to arrive. The boiler room number 4 has been reported to see a little girl, sometimes sucking her thumb and sometimes with a doll in her hand. That is the very ship, but this is freaky.
That is creepy.
And I don't think I have any more screenshots.
I feel like that would be so cool, but also creepy at the same time to go there.
Like, I want to go.
I know.
But it's like in California, and that's like way across the state.
Yeah, it is.
Across the country. I don't know why I said state. That was because I was thinking that's a forest state, and then, but yeah.
I have one more. It's pretty short.
Okay. Yeah, we have time.
Okay. This one is the Cuban Club in Tampa, Florida.
Ooh.
Many actors have become disillusioned with their careers over time, but in the 1920s, one actor took his failings to a new extreme. Also, wait, before I start this, I just want to put a what do you call it? Trigger warning, because brief talk of suicide.
Okay.
If you would like to skip over, now's the time. Just about like 10 seconds. So, yeah. Okay. He died by suicide in the Cuban Club Theater while on stage after forgetting his lines.
Ooh, I mean, I know that's like scary, but
It's literally so sad, but like also like holy crap.
yeah,
That audience is probably traumatized. Like, wow.
So he did it in the like during the
while he was on stage.
Oh my.
Yeah. Because he forgot his lines, which is like the craziest part about it. Like, shiver me timbers. Okay.
So bad.
Whether there was an audience present or not is up for debate. But while his earthly body exited stage right, his spirit remains. It is common in theater spaces across the world to have a ghost light on when the theater would otherwise be completely dark. While this tradition of a bare bulb on a stand in center stage is said to be primarily for safety, there are many examples of how spirits have used these lights to communicate their presence to the living world. It is said that he was also the playwright. The theater at the Cuban Club is also one of the most haunted spaces in Tampa, Florida. One of the saddest ghost stories of the Cuban Club is the tale of Little Jimmy.
Aww.
I know.
That just sounds sad.
Yeah. As you tour the space today, there is a cantina, a 3-tiered entertainment space perfect for large events and parties. But many years ago, the cantina was the location of the Cuban Club's swimming pool. While history has young Jimmy as either an 8 or 9-year-old, depending on who you ask, his fate remains the same.
Aww.
Jimmy went swimming in the pool unattended and tragically drowned. I know. While ultimately the death was accidental, Jimmy's spirit has never felt the need to leave the Cuban Club. Little Jimmy is a playful spirit and has communicated with guests on ghost tours through their flashlights. If you find yourself with a flashlight inexplicably blinking on and off, don't be frightened. That's just how little Jimmy offers his hello.
Aww, that's so cute though.
I want to go, so I want my flashlight to flicker.
I want to go to all these places except for the doll.
I know, me too.
the Forest of the Dolls.
Yeah.
What is it called? The Land of the Dolls?
Oh my god, why can't I even think of it? Island of the Dolls.
Island of the Dolls,
yeah.
I want to go everywhere but the Island
Yeah,
of
me
the Dolls.
too.
No, thank you.
Passerbys have also caught his little face peeking out the upstairs windows in photographs taken when the Cuban Club has been closed.
Aww.
There are other playful ghost experiences that have been attributed to Jimmy, including the elevators running with no one in them and doors refusing to shut. You can feel the youthful energy in these ghostly pranks.
Aww.
Many guests appreciate that the visits do not feel sinister and are the perfect first ghost encounter. I want to go so bad. It's in Florida. We can go there one day. We can take a little vacation.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah.
Maybe we can record it and stuff too.
Yeah.
And like that could be like a Patreon episode later in life.
We'll definitely do that one day.
One day.
When we have money.
When the podcast gets bigger.
Yeah.
Share with your friends and family.
Yes, so we can go to Florida and record some ghost encounters for you. Many of the ghosts that linger in the Cuban Club are nameless. Their specific histories lost to time, but their spirits remain and are easily picked up with EMF monitors or thermal detectors if you prefer to use those. Ghost hunters in popular television programs have found the Cuban Club to be an excellent site of metaphysical action. It has been said that after an argument, one board member shot another in anger.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Reportedly, both of their spirits remain in the Cuban Club, both ghosts full of regret for their lives unfulfilled. Those who have made paranormal activities their personal hobbies have found great success at the Cuban Club. There are tales of pianos playing themselves with sorrowful tunes and a woman in a white dress wandering the halls. As the Cuban Club has long been used as a wedding reception venue, it isn't any wonder... I'm not crazy. Okay, sorry, I had to say that. Okay. It isn't any wonder some spirits may choose to stay in the location of the best day of their lives for all eternity. You could see for yourself if you dare. I would totally dare. I want to go there.
And it's always like there's always a woman in white.
I
and
know.
Like,
yeah. Or red, like Nettie.
Yeah, or like something
women
like
in a dress.
That. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And it's just like interesting.
It is.
So yeah, so I want to go to all those places except for the Island of the Dolls.
Me too.
So yeah. I don't know how to transition this time.
These are our haunted stories. We hope you like them.
Yeah, if you like them, please go to our Spotify and rate the episodes. Rate us. Give us a 5 stars.
5 stars. 5 stars.
5 stars. And then we also have polls at the end of our episodes asking what you thought about the episode. So if you fill those out, that would be greatly appreciated, please.
Yes. And share with your friends.
Share with your friends, family.
Send us some ideas and cases that you want us to cover.
Cases or your stories that you may have experienced in your life at dreadfullystwistedpodcast@gmail.com or on our Reddit page or /dreadfullystwistedpod. You can also DM us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Our socials for that is at dreadfullystwistedpodcast. And please share with your friends and family.
Yes.
You can listen on Spotify, Pandora Radio, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Listen Notes, and YouTube. So if you subscribe to YouTube and all that stuff, and you'll see like our little shorts and clips and everything from us and stuff. So yeah. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. We love you.
We love you, and happy 1 year to the podcast.
Happy 1 year to us.
And be there for your friends. Check in on them.
Yes. Be a good person.
Be positive. And we'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you then.
Bye.